But a new sport is starting up with the NFL.
The NFL.
So the first week of like actual preseason games, not the Hall of Fame games, but
Yeah.
that started this week.
Yep.
So a couple things that I saw, I personally watched a little bit of it.
Personally watch.
But I watched Gardner Minshew. I think it was his first TD drive of the
It was the only one he had.
of this preseason, so that was kind of fun to watch.
Yep.
Didn't watch Aiden O'Connell play, but I'm pretty sure he played in the first quarter. And
I
from
don't
what
know,
I looked
yeah.
at, it was up in the air who actually did
Gardner,
better.
I have it right here because I was curious about it. Gardner went 6 for 12, 117 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
50%, not bad. Aiden did go 7 for 9 with 76 yards, nothing else on top of it. So I think Minshew probably played the first quarter-ish, and then I bet you O'Connell came in later. I don't know exactly, just based off numbers, because then Anthony Brown, who I don't know, came in for 3 passes.
Idea.
So they could have ran the ball a bunch, obviously, it looks like, with only whatever that is, 24 passes for the whole game. Nothing crazy.
It's always it's
But
hard.
Gardner
for
is
the first,
goated, so.
Yeah. First preseason game is always a little bit like, are we actually even going to see anybody? That
Well, it actually looked like he might have played the first half because the touchdown would have been in the second quarter. So
yeah,
he probably did play the first half. It looks
in the
like
same game with the Vikings. I watched McCarthy on a couple of drives.
he looked good.
He was interesting. He either looked really good or really bad. There was
I
no in
think
between,
that's just getting used to the speed.
Yeah,
I
he
think-
showed flashes of like,
Mhm.
maybe this could be something. So
Yeah.
it was fun. He's not going to start week 1.
I don't think so, but Sam Darnold.
I hope he pressures
Sam
him.
Darnold against. I think the third stringers came in and it only was like 50% with barely 70 yards, maybe. He should be lighting up third stringers.
Oh, for sure.
And obviously, he's probably playing with third stringers, so that wide receiver, they might have missed some catches.
Yeah, I don't think
didn't
Justin
watch it.
Jefferson was playing,
But
TJ Hawkinson, if I'm thinking of the right tight end. did
I
not
don't
play.
see him having any statistics, so I would agree with you.
But
yeah, I think Sam Darnold needs to be better.
in
if he's going to come in late in the game. But McCarthy had 2 touchdowns, almost 200 yards, and a pick. He went 11 for 17. It's not bad.
No, that's a great way to start. Like I said,
Yeah.
like you said, the pace is so much different than college.
Yeah.
New playbook, new team, new players.
Yeah, and I still think that the Vikings are still way on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But I think this is a great start, and obviously I think most Minnesota fans would say we don't have a shot this year, and that's okay. We are fully in
you're
rebuild
locked
mode.
in Jefferson.
Well,
that's
yeah,
fine.
and we're fully in rebuild mode. We finally got rid of Cousins. We are past that stage of the Vikings. We are J.J. McCarthy. It's going to be a rocky probably year. You're probably going to miss some opportunities. You're probably going to get blown out. You would think McCarthy's probably not going to light the way. I don't think he's going to be a C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they quite have the team around him.
no, I agree.
But
and a pretty new coaching staff that I can't remember I can picture who I want to picture, but I think it's wrong. But I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I just think that their whole
Kevin
team,
O'Connell. So recently-ish.
Yeah, so he is a couple years in.
Yeah.
So it still is it's just a whole new young everything.
Yeah.
So they have some time. I think it'll be interesting. But
Yeah. And then, the one thing I did raid too was Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers have re-entered into contract negotiations.
I think that he is going to sign. The 49ers do a really good job of basically coming down to the wire and beating the buzzer.
Yeah.
With all of the people they've re-signed. I would not be surprised if they re-sign him.
I don't feel like, I think...
Why wouldn't you? I get it. You want the money. I understand. If you get injured, I get it. That is a Super Bowl.
They're a Super Bowl contender
You
team, for
literally
sure.
don't get very many opportunities to go to. The other team was like, "Oh, you want to go to the Patriots?" He literally said no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're not going to win anything. So why don't you just say, okay, instead of Jefferson money, I'll take a little bit less, and I'm on a contender that literally has probably the best shot in the NFC, probably by numbers and by odds, the best chance in the NFC to win the thing. That's what I don't get. I'm like, give me the Super Bowl, and then after I win the Super Bowl, let me pull what was his name? Who won the Super Bowl MVP for the Seahawks? And
Malcolm Smith.
Malcolm Smith, and then left for $1 million with the Raiders, I think, or whatever, and never did anything. He had literally a good Super Bowl, and he was otherwise a very average player, and then got paid and left.
Yeah.
Do that, but
I would have loved to see him traded just because he's good.
Yeah.
And he's in our division. But
there are teams that are going to be interested in.
I saw
him
the
if they can do
Steelers
it.
were like the close to the top. That was interested in him.
They have money too. They have a lot of money to spend, and they have, obviously young quarterbacks. They have a pretty good. Mike Tomlin. They got a good team. They're they're going to be a playoff, at least a fighting for a playoff spot team. That's how they
Yeah.
always are. The other interesting thing I saw with the NFL, that I just off the top of my head, is John Gruden was at the. So remember how he had his whole incident with whatever?
Yeah, that coach.
He was with the Raiders, and he was at the Chiefs practice, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, he's going to be their offensive coordinator." Blah, 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 everyone's freaking out. Andy Reid came out and basically said,
Nope.
Everyone just respects him a ton, and he's kind of more of just a consultant. So he came and talked to the players and does all. He's super
knowledgeable.
He won a Super Bowl. Like he knows what he's doing. But it was interesting to hear that aspect too. Of obviously he had his incident. Even Derek Carr's come out and said that the whole team loves him. Like the whole team liked him a lot. Like I think it was the Raiders getting out of a $100 million contract they didn't want to spend.
Just found what they needed to find.
Yeah, they had to be like, oh, this is an issue. But it was interesting to hear that. And I think John Gruden's a great coach. I think I loved when he did his quarterback segment on ESPN.
Oh yeah,
he talked to all the young guys and be like, this is how you make reads. Smart guy. But it was interesting to see that. And that was kind of the other news I saw. But
yeah, I feel like that's as far as just the NFL. That's kind of all I had.
Yeah.
But
Thanks for listening to the Kind of Athletic podcast. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials and come back next week for next week's episodes.